Yeah.
What up, though? OG Kenny, O_G_Kenny, at Retired from the Streets TV. So look, right, the year 1998, early 98. Now, 98, if you all remember, let me think, what came out in 98? Half Baked came out, He Got Game, Armageddon dropped that year, Meet Joe Black dropped that year, DMX's Dark and Hell is Hot dropped that year. I done told y'all before, DMX is hot, it's Dark and Hell is Hot was like the soundtrack. Well, let me see. It was a few albums that was the soundtrack to my life during 1998. DMX is hot and it's Dark and Hell is Hot. Waiting to His Hell soundtrack, believe it or not. I rode that boy for my whole first incarceration term, the whole almost 5 years. The Dayton Family, FBI. And I had a Razcast. Razcast was my dude out the West Coast. Shout out to Razcast. So, all this going on in the world, right? I'm incarcerated for the first time. I've been incarcerated at that time probably 4 months. I'm 4 months off the streets now. I'm in Jackson prison, or Jackson, Michigan, in prison, in the reception and guidance center, what they call RGC, right? Now, RGC, of course, I done told y'all before, is where they receive you after you leave their county jail. They take you there, they process you, and then they decide what prison they're going to send you at and what level. Now, during the course of this processing, you have to go through certain health standards that the Department of Correction require you to do to figure out where you're at. Do you have a certain disease that's communicable or that can spread? Health issues. They find out about staph infection, Mercer, what gang you affiliated with, because they want to strip you down and take pictures of your tattoos and all that, right? One of the most dreadful things that you can go through when you're in quarantine and you're going through your reception or your intake process, right? Is waiting on the results of your HIV test. And the reason, check this out, right? For any dude or female who been knocking stuff down or been getting knocked down, you understand what I'm saying? Prior to going to doing term incarceration, when you get in quarantine, you're already having probably sexual withdrawals, right? Because you miss hitting stuff. You miss getting hit, right? That's just natural. That's one of the withdrawals that you have outside of any addictions that you may or may not have had, whether it was liquor, alcohol, whatever. Alcohol or a hard drug, marijuana, pills, whatever you consider your get high. Some people's get high is sex, right? And during the course of that get high or fulfilling that get high or scratching that sexual itch, some people become either promiscuous or they get a body count. They've been hitting this one, that one, this one, that one, this one, that one, right? Not only do that creates a pattern and a habit of you feel almost like a microwave sense of satisfaction when you want something. You want to hit that button and somebody pop up at your door, hot and ready. You understand what I'm saying? And it's going to cost you more than $5 in certain cases. And in this particular situation, I'm talking about dudes who that dread that surrounds waiting on the results of your HIV test comes a lot of time from people who was living promiscuous lives, especially having unprotected sex. Now, I ain't saying nothing about none of them people because I done been one of those people, especially that first time that when I went to prison for the first time, I got this flashing back while I'm waiting on the results of that test. And it came from dudes who was getting, I forget the colors. I want to say you got a yellow slip when it was a negative result, and maybe a pink slip or whatever when it was positive. I think like when you get fired, you get a pink slip or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? You get that package. No disrespect to nobody who got AIDS or HIV who living with the disease. I respect it totally, right? I'm not talking about y'all, but what I'm saying is you got some people who've been real reckless sexually, right? And as a result of that, they catch something like HIV or AIDS, right? And then on the backlash of that, you dealing with it, right? I done seen dudes in there or I done heard about them like, dog got that shit. They just found out dog got that paperwork. So that, like, when you get that pink slip, I think it was, that's like getting fired from the sexual scene. For real, I don't want, look, I wouldn't want to touch nobody else. I would be so turned off sexually, me personally, if I knew I was out there moving recklessly and they caught something. You understand what I'm saying? And I told y'all previously how I end up on a yard with a knife with an assignment to stab a dude who had caught HIV or AIDS and was planning on going home, passing it to as many sisters or women, period, as he could get his hands on. So we were trying to get him off the yard and send a message, you know what I mean? That this would, you know what I mean? Even though he might have did what he wanted to do anyway when he got out, that was our message we was trying to send. So my thing is, in those instances, you thinking about, whoa, that could have been me. These dudes in here, they had what they call like follow-ups for psychological services. They'll put you in on suicide watch. A lot of them dudes. A couple of dudes they packed him up with doggo, man. He got that shit. They put him on suicide watch. He said he gonna kill himself. Imagine that. You go into prison, you already got time. You don't even know you have a disease, but they check you, find out you got AIDS, and you got 30 years to do. You understand what I'm saying? So it ain't for everybody, man, doing crimes and living wild on the sex scene, because I've been there. I've been sitting on that bunk waiting for everybody I've been sexually active with and counting them down and saying, damn, oh girl, I slipped up that one time. She ain't had no rubber. I ain't had no rubber. We was drunk. This one, that one. And you sitting there wondering, damn, what is my results going to be? And you nervous and you on edge. And everybody around you on edge. And they joking about it and playing to make it light. But I'm telling you, that shit's scary. That's some of the most scariest stuff you can go through. Because imagine being out here in the world, or in the free world, when you can move around and distract yourself. In quarantine, you're in your damn cell 23 hours a day. Unless you're going to programming or going to get checked or going to the nurse, going to get your medication because you got high blood pressure or whatever else is going on with you. If you're going to services for your religious beliefs or whatever. And sometimes dudes just signing up for stuff just to get out of that cell for a minute, right? So 23 hours a day. You got to sit there and ponder not only on the mistakes you made to get you in prison in the first place, all the mess ups and the F ups and the mishaps and the missteps, not listening to sound advice. Your sister done told you, your mama done told you, your girlfriend done told you. You ain't listening to none of them. And we know that usually, like I've always said, women are the voice of God when it comes to reasoning, especially with hard-headed men. I've been one of them hard-headed men. I found myself in that. And I've been 3 times to prison, like I told y'all. 3. 97 to 02, 2007 to 2010, and 2013 to 2015. So 10 years back and forth off and on, 3 different times, sitting there sweating bullets, wondering, has any of them chicks I knocked down gave me something that I can't get rid of? Because it ain't just about AIDS. They're going to give you your AIDS and HIV results, right? But it's about anything else you can get that you can't get rid of. You understand what I'm saying? That's like daunting, bro. And look, let's transition this a little bit, right? It ain't just about sitting there waiting on it. It's about being also out here in the streets. Like, you could be in prison waiting on that result and sitting there scared and going through sweating bullets. But what about y'all dudes out here walking around with full-blown something and don't even know it? You chicks out here walking around with full-blown anything, don't even know it, right? Syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, trichomonias. You understand what I'm saying? It's so much that you can contract. Even HPV, the human papillomavirus, and that just is, it causes cervical cancer in women, and dudes are just carriers. It don't affect dudes the same way it affects women. I think if you go untreated with dudes after a while, it can lead to infertility and whatnot. But with women, we're talking about cervical cancer. I'm not preaching about STIs or STDs or whatever. What I'm saying is, you out here knocking stuff down. You out here blicky gang, right? You out here frying niggas ramen, right? Knocking a noodle off and all that. It's quite a possibility that you might go up that way. So you out here running around reckless on all levels, shooting them up, bang, bang, slanging a sack, scamming, kickdoing, mopping niggas upside their head, you know what I'm saying, with pistols and all this shit, right? And then you out there reckless with your dick or your coochie. Either way. If you find yourself in the Department of Correction, whether it's Michigan, whether it's Virginia, whether it's Texas, whether you out in Cook County, whether you out in LA County, wherever you at, and you waiting on the results of that test, It's a scary thing. I promise you. I don't know unless you just don't give a damn or you know you already got some. You already had some. To me, that's one of the most scariest things in the world. I've been through it 3 times. And every time, guess what I promised myself? Dog, please, God, if I don't got nothing, I go home this time, I'm always use a condom. I don't care if she the finest thing in the world. I don't care. I'm using it, right? That don't happen. You get caught in the moment. You know, y'all feeling each other. They look the part. They smell the part. They might taste the part. You understand what I'm saying? You diving in, right? I'm about to dive in. That ain't funny, but seriously, man. That shit crazy. I be scared. I'm scared for some of y'all. Feel me? I just want to give y'all that tidbit because a lot of dudes forget about that part when they get back out here. And then I don't know who that spoke on it before or who may have, because I don't really watch a lot of dudes content that do this type of stuff, really. And it sounds crazy. I don't because for one reason I don't want to really get influenced by what they're doing, but I know for a fact I wanted to cover this topic because it's serious, man. Ain't nothing like sitting there, young bro and young sis or bro or sis, when you sitting there and you waiting on the results. That shit there will have your stomach in knots, your heart and your chest. I mean, your heart and your damn stomach and your stomach in knots. You feel me? It's scary. And then you see people when they coming back and they done contracted something and they can't do nothing about it. And they trapped inside them gates. That right there is a miserable feeling alone. And you ain't even going through it. It's them going through it. But you just feeling that energy. And you can't help but feel the energy because you're in a closed ass environment, in a closed setting. You bound to see them again somewhere along the line. You know, I just want to give y'all that, man. I love y'all, man. I thank y'all for keep tuning in. Y'all enjoy y'all tools. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow for another one. OG Kenny, O_G_Kenny at Retire from the Streets TV. I love y'all. I'm out. Ha.